The average salary in the US is upwards of 50k US dollars. That's about almost 6 million Kenyan shillings. And yet, the average salary in a country like Burundi is under $300. We're talking about it being about 30 something K per year. Yes, guys, these are annual salaries. That's the extent with which, guys, we have disparities in salaries out there. But why do we have disparities in salaries out there? All these I'm going to be sharing in this video through 7 pointers as to why salaries out there differ from country to country. Of course, we have countries out there which pay awesome salaries. For example, I've given one example. Also, we have some good developed countries in Europe and also some countries in the Gulf nation which pay very good salaries. And you're going to see as to why this is the case. And by the way, guys, just on a light note, a country like US, the average salary is upwards of 50k US dollars. And a country like, for example, Burundi, whereby the president of Burundi's annual salary is 47k USD. In essence, the average salary in the US is way, way more. Think about it. That is how insane the situation is. But why is this the case? The very first reason as to why salaries out there differ is basically because of existing laws and regulations. We're talking about some countries out there having laws with regards to what the minimum salary should be, and with that, it actually ties employers' hands out there for them to be very clear with regards to how they're going to pay their staff. And of course, countries out there have put in place such policies for them to be able to protect their people from exploitation, because at the end of the day, companies out there are looking for economies of scale and also cheap labor. So in case they can be able to lock that, they don't really care. And that's why if today you lose your job, no one cares. You're going to be replaced the following day. God forbid if you die today, be sure within a week you're going to be replaced. So governments out there are also quite keen. That's why they have some, for example, clauses in laws out there stipulating what the basic minimum salary should be, or even hourly rate. And with that, it truncates to actually an awesome annual salary in case someone is in full-time employment, right? So guys, that's the first reason with regards to why salaries out there might vary, is because of these variations in policies and laws of the different lands out there. And then the second reason as to why salaries vary out there is because of stiff competition among different companies and sectors out there. To give you an example, Western countries out there, we see, for example, they have very, very strong companies and also very strong interest in matters, for example, technology, medicine, engineering, and so forth. And actually, in equal breath, we also seen people working in these sectors being able to get paid very well. It is so because these sectors also, within the entire economy or the entire setting of industries out there, want to tap into the best of brains out there. They want to tap, for example, into the best of engineers out there, the best of mathematicians out there, the best of computer scientists out there. So that competition across sectors makes some sectors pay staff on average within the sectors very well compared to other sectors, mostly because this competition is very stiff, and at the end of the day, it's business for everyone. In case you're able to get the best brains in your sector, mostly in your company, chances are you're going to be able to come with the most novel of solutions out there and be able to scale the wealth and profitability of your company. And in relation to that, the third reason as to why we're talking about salaries out there differing greatly is because of changes in consumer price index. Guys, look here. Inflation in countries out there vary. And because of variations in inflation, also we have, for example, regulations out there or even just individual company policies with regards to adjustment of employee salaries. In case, for example, the policy of the company states in case of inflation is going to be able to factor in the subsequent salaries, chances are this is going to be captured. And that's why you see, for example, some countries see salaries going up and up and up. And it's quite interesting because, so you can find, for example, someone's salary goes up or even it's bumped substantially because of the economic situation. And that's why also we might get, for example, situations out there whereby we get some, for example, people out there seeing the salary going higher and higher in one country compared to the other country. And the fourth thing as to why salaries out there are actually varying across countries is also because of varying prestige levels in countries, and also countries having individual interest in attracting the best of talents. Guys, more so, these strong countries in the world also desire to attract the best of talents. That's why you're talking about, even from the third world countries out there, we're talking about brain drain, whereby the best of talents, for example, are going to work in these other countries. It is actually a system design thing, because they want to get the best of talents from all over the world. And it is this best of talents from all over the world which are really going to be able to spearhead the different industries out there and see how best they can get to the frontier, or even bypass to new frontiers which have never been realized before. And actually, it's quite fascinating, because to give you an example, I think it was a few years back. I don't know if the current situation, it is the current situation still, but for example, in the US, most of the big tech companies, Google, Microsoft, Adobe, you name it, most of them are actually being headed by people from India. People who came from India went to the US, for example, for schooling, and they are absorbed into the tech sector. They are getting paid insane amount of money, and even so, some have been able to get citizenship because of the value they are bringing to their country. So the desire to tap into talent and get the most, also the prestige which comes with it, actually also makes some of the countries out there be able to pay people different from other countries out there, right? And then the fifth reason as to why salaries out there vary also is because of different tax regimes. More so, in case a company is a multinational and it has policy around equality in salaries, chances are it's going to be able to factor those differences out there with regards to different tax regimes, and more so those taxes on income tax across countries. And I'm saying so because, guys, believe it or not, we're talking about there being a very big disparity. There are some countries out there whereby people pay zero tax on their income, and yet we're talking about some other countries out there where people actually pay upwards of 55% on their income. To give you an example, the income tax rate in the Ivory Coast is 60%. Think about it. It's going to be quite unfair. For example, a company is a multinational, right? Having, for example, operations in Dubai and also in Ivory Coast, whereby in Dubai, the tax rate is zero on income, right? And yet in Ivory Coast, we talk about it being 60%. Chances are a person working in Ivory Coast is going to see their salary being bumped up substantially for it to be able to cover the tax, and also for their employees to remain with at least close to what the person in Dubai is getting, as long as adjusted also for the cost of living. That's exactly what happens most with the multinationals. And also, given multinationals out there are trendsetters, in case such things happen, also even local companies out there are going to be able to adjust their salary for them to be able to stay competitive. It is as simple as that. They're going to try their best to match. Even so, even if they can't reach what the multinationals are giving, they can try their best to match or even to raise their salaries also for them to be able to compete with the existing talent. And that actually also drives disparities in salaries across different geographies out there. Okay? And then the sixth reason as to why salaries out there vary is because of different strengths in currencies. This tells you we have already a disparity in the base, in that the different currencies out there vary greatly. And most of the times, you talk about, for example, local companies anchoring their salaries on local currencies. In case, for example, we have different companies coming in and then anchoring the salary on other foreign currencies, it's going to really subvert the competition over time. We're going to see even rising in salaries in that country to match the stable currencies out there. But even with that, countries out there have disparities because of difference in salaries out in the difference in their currency strength out there. For example, on equal basis of pay, just are even a month from now, because of different indexation in currencies, a given conversion won't really match another country's conversion rate out there, or even won't really match another country's currency out there. And this is something which is beyond any person's control. It is just anchored on the economies of demand and supply of different currencies, and also the trading positions of countries. This is something beyond someone's control, but also worth noting as to why salaries out there of different countries could vary compared to other countries. Okay? And then the seventh reason as to why salaries out there vary is because of most powerful nations in the world. At the moment, to talk about, for example, the US, China's and the likes, wanting to ensure they remain or they're perceived to be powerful. So they're going to do all their best, beyond just even military might, science and technology might. They're going to even tap into fiat currency mind for them to show that actually they are ensuring that the people are living the best lives. They are paying their people the best they can. This is actually also anchored in prestige of nations and the power dynamics out there. What do you think about this video? I hope you got a sense as to why salaries out there vary most from country to country, and even so, what drives this variation. Thanks a lot for watching. I look forward to share with you other awesome videos next time. Bye bye, and you all take care.